It comes as companies in China say they could be badly hit by the ongoing trade war with the US.
The tariffs, we've been watching the markets through the course of the last few hours. Donald Trump, it's being reported.
To Donald Trump's trade war now, and China has called on the United States to cancel all tariffs after Washington.
I think President Xi is a very smart guy, and I think we'll end up making a very good deal for both.
The United States administration has imposed steep tariffs on certain Chinese imports, triggering what many are calling a trade tsunami for Beijing. China, long regarded as a major global market and one of America's most significant trading partners.
Good eyes with bad eyes. We didn't want to bring, it's very windy out here. We didn't want to bring out the big charts because it had no chance of standing. As you know, the tariffs are on, and the money is pouring in at a level that we've never seen before.
Is now facing tariffs as high as 245%, a move the U.S. sees as one of its most potent economic strategies. In a recent statement, the American leadership boldly declared, "The tariffs are in place, and the revenue is pouring in like never before." Despite windy weather during the announcement, they avoided using visual aids, saying the charts simply wouldn't stand a chance. But the message was clear. Washington believes these new tariffs are reshaping the global trade game. The question now is, how severely will these unprecedented tariffs impact China, a country known as the manufacturing hub of the world? And it doesn't end with the 245% rate. New duties, ranging from 145% and beyond, are being levied across a wide array of sectors. So, which industries will be hit the hardest? China is already grappling with a youth unemployment crisis, and recent videos of Chinese students in tears over joblessness have gone viral, painting a grim picture of growing unrest. A potential collapse in exports could trigger a domino effect, impacting employment, social stability, and even pension systems. How deep are trade ties between the U.S. and China? And who stands to lose more? Just a few years ago, the trade volume between the two economic giants hovered between $550 and $600 billion annually, encompassing everything from high-tech electronics to textiles, steel, and chemicals. The economic interdependence was undeniable. But now, the White House has taken a firm stance, declaring the ball is in China's court. They need our market more than we need theirs. According to official leaks, U.S. Customs has begun implementing a 245% tariff on key Chinese exports. Which products are affected? The highest tariffs target strategic categories, such as high-tech components, semiconductors, precision machinery, steel, and aluminum derivatives. Products like machine parts and specialized electronics now face steep import duties. Meanwhile, tariffs in the 145% to 150% range are affecting consumer goods, textiles, footwear, household items, and toys. Signs of the impact are already emerging. At the recently concluded Canton Fair, one of China's most prominent export showcases, nearly 98% of booths were Chinese, but foreign buyers were conspicuously absent. Some exhibitors voiced concern, wondering, what if the American orders don't come? What will we do next? It's a troubling signal for an economy heavily reliant on exports. According to some estimates, China could lose $300 to $400 billion in export revenue over the next 2 years. That figure could rise to $1 trillion by 2028, and perhaps up to $2 trillion in the longer term as manufacturing shifts to other countries in Asia. President Xi Jinping is fully aware of the social risks. Though China's official urban unemployment rate is below 5%, independent reports suggest the real number may be much higher. If export-driven factories shut down, millions could lose their jobs, fueling unrest. Moreover, China's pension system, dependent on investment returns and state-owned enterprise profits, could suffer if revenues fall. Public spending on health, education, and pensions may be slashed, provoking further discontent. So, is China truly on the back foot? The Beijing administration maintains that it has strategies to boost domestic consumption and diversify exports through trade agreements in the Asia-Pacific, Africa, and South America. Yet, replacing the U.S. consumer market, especially for high-value goods, is no easy feat. China could retaliate by restricting rare materials or limiting U.S. business access to its market, which might pressure Washington. But such measures would inflict damage on both sides and destabilize the global economy. Let's not forget, China remains one of the world's largest aviation markets. Any disruption to Boeing contracts or the suspension of aircraft deliveries could send shockwaves through the U.S. aerospace industry. Similarly, U.S. tech firms generate billions in China. Despite this, the White House appears determined to deliver a decisive blow to Chinese exports, justify its move as a response to years of unfair trade practices. But this won't hurt China alone. Tariffs on Chinese intermediate goods could raise costs for U.S. manufacturers and consumers. Higher production expenses might translate to rising prices in stores across America. While Washington believes it can shift supply chains to other Asian nations, the transition is neither simple nor swift. The current situation resembles not just a trade dispute, but the economic front of a new Cold War, one centered on critical sectors like microchips, artificial intelligence, and defense. If China restricts key exports or curtails U.S. firms' access, the shock could force Washington to reconsider. But such escalation would be catastrophic for both economies and the world at large. Some reports suggest Beijing has already seen a 20 to 30% drop in export orders for electronics and tech goods. A continued decline could cost China 1 to 1.5 percentage points in GDP growth annually, translating into trillions in lost output over time. Yet the U.S. won't walk away unscathed. Inflation, disrupted supply chains, and weakened consumer spending could erode its economic stability too. Still, the White House remains confident. We're prepared for short-term pain to secure long-term gain. Currently, the door for dialogue remains open, but Washington insists that Beijing must make the first move, and significant concessions, especially on issues like intellectual property, technology transfer, and market access. China, on the other hand, argues that it already adheres to international trade norms and accuses the U.S. of overreach. In the end, it's not just businesses or investors that are caught in this crossfire. The entire world watches anxiously. The eerily quiet Canton Fair may just be the first sign of what's to come. What do you think? Will China succumb to the pressure of 245% tariffs, or will it counter with bold new strategies and markets of its own? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, enable notifications, and like this video to support our channel.